Hey y'all, it's Robin from the future. So if you are watching this video, it is because this is part 2 of the reasons why I decided to quit being the reason why I quit my job as a crime scene investigator. So the first video, part 1, was absolutely too long. It was 31 minutes. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and jump right into this video so I can keep telling you guys all the details. So just stay tuned. Make sure you like this video, subscribe, thumbs up, and all of that other stuff. Share it with somebody who may want to hear it. Okay, watch the video. Okay, so the second ethical reason why I left the crime scene unit is because I referenced this in another one of my crime scene videos, but I did not get down to the details because this is a scene that actually makes me very upset when I think about it. So if I get hyped or really upset right now when I'm explaining it, just understand why. You guys probably will too when you hear it. So you all know, I don't know if I think I told you guys in another video that I worked from 10:30 p.m. till 6:30 a.m. So it was probably around 2 in the morning, maybe 3 in the morning, and I had got dispatched to a call of a pedestrian who was struck by a car. So I went out to the scene, and when I got out there, it was in South. Well, I can't say where it's at because y'all don't know where I worked. It was in the hood. I'll say that it was in the hood. It was an African American male who was struck by a vehicle. He was laying in the middle of the street. There were police cars that had blocked off that side of the street that he was on. There was police cars down this way as well. So I arrive and I walk up and I talk to the officers there. I see the detective, one of the traffic investigators that I see frequently whenever there's a traffic fatality. So I spoke to him because, you deal with a lot of the same officers on the same shifts, or detectives and investigators and stuff. So you know them, they know you. So I spoke to him. I was like, hey, what's going on? What you got? Blah, blah, blah. Like, what is it? Okay. So any information that they have, they give me. And then I go ahead and get my camera ready, start taking my pictures. So I go grab my camera from out of my truck. I walk down to the end, closer to where the guy's feet are. So I walk to the side where his feet are, and his head was that way. His feet are down here, his head is that way. So I'm down here, and I'm about to start taking the first picture, the first overall photo. So I have the picture up, take the picture. And then I'm like, maybe it's the wind blowing. I wasn't sure because he had a tarp over him. It was like a sheet over him. So I'm like, maybe the wind is blowing, but something looked weird. So I took it again. I took the picture again, and I'm like, I know that sheet ain't moving. So then I get down low to take a picture to look, and I have the camera up because the camera zoomed in a little bit so I could see closer. And then I zoomed it back out. And I was like, I think that's moving. Like, is it my flash? I'm like, I don't know if it's my flash or if it's the wind that's blowing it. And then, so I took another picture when I was down low, and then I just stopped and I just started looking at it. Because my number one fear, I don't know why, but my number one fear when I was a crime scene investigator was that somehow, some way, there was going to be somebody that is dead, that wakes up, and they are a zombie, and next thing you know, I'm standing over top of a zombie, and they about to kill me because I watched too much Walking Dead. And that's just always what I thought. So I'm sitting there looking at him, well, at the body that's covered, and I'm like, did that thing just move? Like, did that tarp on top of them just move? So I'm looking. It moved again. I'm like, oh no. So I called the investigator over. I was like, hey, that's moving. He's not dead. He's not dead. That's moving. And they said, no, that's just the wind. That's just the wind. And I was like, okay. Go get closer to take another picture. I move over to the side, close to his head, take another picture. And then I stop. And I'm like, this is moving at the same pace every couple seconds. It is not the wind. Wind does not work like that. He is alive. He's breathing. It was so the blanket that was on top of him, the tarp, whatever that was on top of him, was going up and down like this. It was very slow, so he was breathing slowly, but it was going up and down like this. Just like that. And they're like, he's not alive. He's not alive. I'm like, so I'm the only one that sees this moving. He's alive. Call the fire department. I said, call the fire department. I said, call them. They need to come back out here. So then another officer looked, and he was like, oh, it is moving. How many times I guess maybe it's because I'm a female, so maybe you guys just think that because I'm young, I don't know what I'm doing. No, I said it 10 minutes ago that it's still moving. You guys are sitting around here trying to debate with me that it's not, and I'm telling you that it is. Now, when a male says it, after 3 other guys look at it, and then a male says it, and then it's, oh, call the fire department. Okay, whatever. So the fire department gets out there, right? Fire department gets out there and they literally, they uncovered the guy. Now we can all see that he is breathing. He's face down. His head is turned to the side. Literally, his part of his skull was exposed. Like, it does not look, some of his brain was out, but he was breathing on his own. And he had already been laying there for over an hour before I got there. So he was alive and stable and breathing on his own when I arrived to the scene. And it took me 10 minutes. It took me about 10 minutes to notice that he was still breathing. It took 10 minutes for the other guys to realize that, yeah, he's still breathing. It took about 20 minutes for the fire department to get out there. Once the fire department got there, they sat around and stood around going back and forth talking about they were not taking him, that they were just gonna, that they weren't taking him. They said, oh, well, technically he's dead. Technically he's dead. And one of them had the nerve to look me in my eyes and say, sometimes that's just the reaction that dead bodies have. Like, what? Do you know how many dead bodies I have stood over? Not one of them were able to breathe. That's not a reaction that dead bodies have. I know what dead bodies look like. I've stood over a lot of them and they don't breathe. That's one thing I know. I know that. Like, they really thought I was Boo Boo the Fool out there. If y'all know who Boo Boo the Fool is, then don't worry about it. But they, for real, they had the wrong one that day. And I was like, look, I don't know what y'all talking about, but this man needs help. That's all I cared about at that point. I'm not taking no more pictures of him. He needs help. He needs to go. Y'all sitting around standing talking about y'all not taking him here, taking him anywhere. When y'all see, y'all the fighter, who else gonna take him? Y'all see that his skull is, his brain is exposed. His skull is cracked. Part of his brain is on the ground. He's breathing on his own. Then not only was he breathing, he moved his arm when we were standing there. We saw him move his arm, and they're still talking about, oh, we're not taking him because he's technically dead. How? Do you mean brain dead? Like, what do you mean he's dead? He's breathing. Okay, Robin from the future again. I just wanted to chime in because I was rewatching the video I'm editing right now. And what they actually said was that he's incompatible with life. And yeah, still, he was alive. So I don't know how being alive is incompatible with life. But anyways, back to the video. So that didn't get that at all. I was pissed, and I wound up standing there because I was like, well, shoot, I'm here now. I need to see if they're gonna take him or not. So the fire department started going back and forth with the detectives that showed up. The detectives, they talked to me, and I said, well, he's still alive, and they sitting here saying that they're not taking him. So the detectives, they're like, well, we're not about to get into a pissing match over who's taking him and who's not taking him, because they were like, well, you need to call the medical examiner. They need to pick him up. The medical examiners was like, we're not picking him up because he's alive. The fire department's like, we're not taking him because he's dead. So they were literally going back and forth. The fire department stayed there for 45 minutes. Okay? This man was on the ground already for an hour before I got there. 20 minutes before the guys agreed with me that he was dead. That's an hour 20 right there. Took more time for the fire department to get there. Then once they were there, it took another 45 minutes for them to say, hey, let's call our supervisor. So they called their supervisor, and their supervisor said, okay, I'm on my way to the scene. So their supervisor gets to the scene. Their supervisor, and mind you, all the guys from the fire department that were there, not trying to make this racial, but I'm gonna put it out there. They were all white guys and one Asian guy. There were 3 white guys, 1 Asian guy. And the supervisor that came out there, 1 black guy. So once the supervisor, an African-American male, got to the scene and he saw the victim on the ground, which was an African-American male, once he saw him on the ground, and he's like, are you kidding me? Y'all don't see him breathing? Get him and let's go. Like, if the supervisor had that thought process, why in the world didn't your guys have it when they were there for those 45 minutes going back and forth? That's what I don't get. That didn't make no sense at all. So I watched them pick this man up. Mind you, I told you guys, his skull was already open. You could already see his brain exposed. It was literally bleeding out as we were there. He was on his stomach. They picked him up. No, they didn't pick him. They turned him over first. They went and got one of those little things that they lay the people on. They turned him over onto his back. I knew that that wasn't a good idea. And I don't work for the fire department. I'm not an EMT. I'm not an EMS, whatever. But I knew that wasn't a good idea. So they put this man on his back, and Then he started choking. He started choking on his own blood. I watched them put this man on his back and he started choking on his own blood. And you know what they did? They strapped him down. They strapped him down. They put him into the truck. They covered him. They covered his body and his face with a tarp as if he was dead. Okay? This man was choking to death on his own blood. I literally watched this man like this. And they had the nerve to first say that he was dead? No. This man was doing this, laying down, because he was choking to death, okay? So, they pulled up. I was pissed. There were other officers at the scene. All the officers that was with me, it was a lot of, it was in the hood. It was a black neighborhood. So a lot of black officers that worked down there. A lot of other officers that were over there, they were all looking like, what the, they were all saying, we were all saying the same thing. All the officers and then me and the investigators, we were like, what the, like, what is happening? Like, what are we watching right now? Like, are they serious? Like, they're really like letting this happen? Because what they should have done was either turn the man over, put something in his mouth to get the blood out so that he's not choking to death. They literally let him choke. They let him choke to death and put a freaking tarp over him. Like, and they didn't care. They did not care. So that was like the straw, one of the straws that really broke the camel's back. Like, that was not okay. Not okay. And that was one of the situations that I wound up having to go to counseling over, because not only did I watch it, because I was a crime scene investigator on the scene, the investigators, they called me about 20 minutes later and they said, I had left. I left. Once I saw them doing that and they put the guy in there and he was, you know, like this, I was like, okay, you know what, I gotta go. I left, called my work mom, and I was like, this is what just happened. Like, I can't effing believe it, and blah, blah, blah. I was pissed. I was like, I can't believe they just let him, they're doing this. I said, they are killing him. I'm watching them kill him. By them not doing anything, they're killing him. So I was pissed. I think I called my mom too. But yeah, that was really crazy. And when I left 20 minutes later, the investigator called me and he said, hey, Robin, I just want to let you know that they just got to the hospital and they pronounced him dead at the hospital as soon as he was admitted. I was like, oh, I'm sure they did, because we all knew that he was going to die on the way to the hospital. That's what they wanted. They wanted him to die on the way to the hospital because that makes it easier for them. Okay? It makes it easier for them. So that's what I was pissed at. I was very pissed about that, because I did not become a crime scene investigator to watch a department kill someone. So I had made a complaint about it to one of the old supervisors who I absolutely love, adore. You guys have seen her before in either one of my wedding vlogs. I did her makeup before on another vlog, so you guys have seen her. I complained to her, and she actually talked to people in the fire department, talked to their chief or whoever in the fire department, and because of that situation, now whenever they get to a scene, they're supposed to, if the person is dead, or if something that they changed where they are supposed to take the person to the hospital, period. But not all the time. Like, if they're clearly dead, like if they are dead, like dead, then no, they're not going to take them. But they didn't want to take him that day because they wanted to just leave him, but he was still breathing, so they were supposed to take him. But if there's someone who is clearly dead, like they shot a zillion times and you know that they're dead, they're not breathing, they are like literally like mouth open, tongue out, whatever. Like, if they are dead, you don't have to take them. But when there's still life, when there's still a inkling of life, take them, because that person could be saved. That man that I watched them kill, he could have been saved. I don't care if he was going to be a vegetable for the rest of his life. He could have been saved. If he was in a coma for the next 30 years and he woke up on 30 years and one day later, he still would have been alive. But they decided that they were going to be lazy that day and that they didn't want to take him and that they wanted to get off of work. So they weren't going to do their job. That's what I didn't like. So, overall, so yeah, that was the second ethical reason of why I stopped being a crime scene investigator. Now what I'm doing is I am basically just focusing on completing my master's degree in crime scene investigation. I I'm supposed to graduate in December with my master's. I have 2 portfolios to do, which is going to be completed before December, obviously. And I have 2 classes to take in the fall, and my classes start back August 31st. I've also just, focused on my career. I still have a career in investigations now. It's just I don't have to go to like gruesome crime scenes or anything. I'm still going to different places, and I just conduct my own investigation, and I go from there. So I've been working there since November 18th, and I absolutely love it. I told you guys before in other crime scene videos that you have to really, really, really take care of your mental health. And me starting this new career is taking care of my mental health. That is like literally what got me back on track and got me back like in a clear and good mind space, because working in that toxic environment that I was working, I'm not saying all police departments are toxic. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that every crime scene unit is toxic. I'm saying that the one that I worked in was toxic, and the department that I worked for did not uphold the same ethical standards that I upheld for myself in my career. So that's the reason why I left. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, then feel free to send me an email. You guys can also leave them down below in the comments, and I will try to answer as many as I can. If I don't answer them all, it's literally just because sometimes people are asking the same questions and I've already answered it before. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for all the love and support. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing to my channels. Thank you for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. Now I have more than 1,000 subscribers. So thank you for every single person who has subscribed and supported my YouTube channel. I'm definitely, just because I'm not, like I told you guys, I haven't been a crime scene investigator since November, but you guys didn't know. So I still have more CSI content coming out for you guys. I will definitely keep you guys informed and let you guys know the things that I know, because the job doesn't change. I still have a lot of information I can give you guys in crime scene stories. So I just told you guys one real story and like basically 1.5, because I didn't tell you all the details of the penile swab, but I kind of sort of told you guys 2 stories already. But I'll definitely have some more crime scene stories for you guys, and I hope that you guys stay tuned and make sure that you subscribe to my channel if you have not already subscribed. Share this video with someone who you think will find it interesting, and leave a comment below. Let me know what other type of crime scene content you guys want to hear from me. And I'm also going to do something for you guys who are interested in applying to be a crime scene investigator. I'll give you guys some interview tips in an upcoming video. Okay, all right, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.